Happy and not quite there yet. That's all you.
Huh?
On me. Oh no. I don't hear me. Neither do I. What happened? Okay.
Can you hear us?
We can't hear you.
Can you hear us?
Still can't hear you.
Is it just
How about
us?
now?
There
There
you
we
go.
go.
There you go.
Well, remember I told you how I'm using an old phone to do everything with? It's dragging. So on my phone, that intro is still playing.
Oh. Makes sense.
I need new equipment, guys. That's all there is to it. I need new equipment.
No, I get it because on our computer it's lagging slower than what we're talking, so like way.
Yeah.
Let me go back down here and I'll just stop this thing. There we go. Now it should be fine. Oh, let's see here. What's up, family? What's up, guys? Can't hear you, Drew. Can't hear you, Drew. Yes, now we hear you. Country. Love you guys. Oh, you already got love thrown at you from the Cincinnati area, guys.
Man, that was awesome.
So, how y'all been?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Except for
Good.
I just had surgery on my hand on Wednesday, but I'm doing good.
Yeah, I can actually see that much better now that you're up there on that 35-inch screen. That's wow. What did you do to it, Trina?
I had trigger finger, which is like it's when your fingers lock up, and so they had to cut just a little tiny hole in my thumb and cut a tendon and release the trigger that's keeping it from going straight. Because it was like a clicking, it just sat there and would click. And it hurt really bad.
Ouch. Yeah, hurt really bad sounds like an understatement. If I don't take vitamins on a regular basis, I have like severe muscle spasms, especially in my hands. And I granted I have no idea what trigger fingers like, but when I'm sitting here trying to do something and this finger starts doing this, or this whole section here goes numb,
Oh,
it's like
right.
and then of course my wife has carpal tunnel, so I
That's
don't know what
similar to
that's
what
like.
trigger finger is, though. It's similar to it.
Oh, okay.
It's from a repetitive movement. So.
Hey Tony. Hey Ian, good to see you, bud. So I like to start these off with pretty much I give you guys the main stage. I want you to, tell everybody about you guys, what got you interested in the paranormal as a couple, any experiences you had before you met growing up or something like that that kind of lit that fire. So the stage is yours.
Okay. So with me, the house that I grew up in, that my dad still lives in now, we've seen a couple of ghosts in there. One that I call the military man, because my dad's house was an old army barracks. From I do believe Fort Custer. I could be wrong.
I think World War II.
But it's an old army barracks. And every so often we would see this military man walk through the kitchen. And he would just be, I think he's in a loop, because you would just see him walk. He wouldn't turn his head. He wouldn't look at us or anything. He just walks like straight through. And he does the same thing every time you see him. He's in the kitchen walking the same way.
No one.
So we'd see him. And then another person that I seen, that I refer to as the Gordon Fisherman, because he had the long beard and like a yellow slicker. That one was really creepy. I only seen him once. So growing up and seeing ghosts in my house later on in life, I started getting really interested in diving deeper into it. And then when I met Kyle here, we had the same interest. Let's go and do these things and film them, and pretty much it was James the Fam that really got us started, because we'd watch, YouTube, and he would always be like, you guys can do this too. And that's kind of where we got our name Fam from, was from James the Fam. But yeah, and that was about 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mine started with, actually, I took you to the cemetery that I started my paranormal investigating, like, I guess you'd say career. The one out in Bloomingdale. I took you there when we did Hatchet Man Road.
Mm-hmm.
I was probably 15, 16 years old. Went down to the cemetery with my mom and my sister. And it was one of the craziest experiences I've ever had. And I wish I still had the picture. But I took a picture on an old Razor phone. And everybody's batteries just drained. So I knew there was some type of activity going on. But I was able to snap a couple of pictures before my phone drained. And then we went back to the house. And all the batteries just, like, everything turned back on. It was weird. And then I was going through the pictures that I took at the cemetery, and I had a full figure standing in front of a tree waving at me. He was completely white with like a red figure around him, just waving at me.
Almost
It
like
was
an
the
aura.
craziest- Yeah, it was super weird.
Weird.
That's what got me started in it.
So then what? You guys, when you met, you decided you were just gonna pursue this thing together, or?
Pretty much.
Well, we just figured we were gonna go and do. We were just gonna go on. Just and
I mean, it pretty much turned out that we were just gonna go and pretty much film ourselves having fun.
yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna film ourselves doing crazy shit, haunted or abandoned stuff. And we just thought, you know what? If nobody ever watches us, at least we have the videos. You know, at least we have the videos to say, hey, we did this and we had fun doing it. And we decided we were just going to put them on YouTube.
So you didn't even start off with the intent of being a paranormal team. You started off just being regular vloggers.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I know this is
No,
going to
that's
sound a little
cool.
weird because I grew up in the so-called haunted houses. I was still kind of the skeptic, where he wasn't. I was more like, you know, maybe what I seen wasn't real, or maybe I was sleepwalking. I don't know. With me, I have to see and hear things to believe in it. So a lot of the things that he hears, I didn't hear. So not that I'm saying he's lying, but I didn't see the things that he's seen, vice versa. So we don't both hear the same things when we're out on an investigation.
Sometimes we won't hear anything and still catch stuff on video.
Yeah. It's true.
So when you go home and you start editing your videos, that's when you're like, you know, oh my God, I didn't hear that. And Kyle's the same way. He's like, holy shit, what was that? Yeah, I heard that right there when we were there.
Yes, especially. So I did this investigation by myself. This is my favorite story that I love to tell. I did an investigation by myself. He was gone out of town. I went to the cemetery where my mom was buried at. Sorry. And I decided I was going to take my camera along and video me talking to her. I did have the necrophonics on for a little bit, and then I shut it off, and I just wanted just the sounds of the cemetery. Just, you know, me talking to my mom, the sounds of the cemetery. And I said, okay, well, I guess I'm going to leave now. And all of a sudden you hear, come back, twice. It was a whisper. It was like,
oh, wow.
There was no necrophonics. There was nothing on. It was just me, myself. And when he was editing this video, when he got home, he's like, you have got to see this. You are not going to believe what you caught. I instantly had goosebumps up and down my arms. And I was like, I was the only one there. It's the craziest, freakiest thing, because I actually didn't hear it at the time, but it was on my video.
That was
very, very cool. Now what about you, Kyle? Have you ever gone out by yourself and ran across some crazy shit that just completely blows Trina's mind when you get back home and start going through it?
not videoing, but I used to work at an O'Reilly's that had a really bad murder happen inside it. And I would close the store and see and hear a lot of weird things in it. So it was the O'Reilly's it's the only O'Reilly's that has a basement to it. And everybody knows it as the murder basement.
Now, what's
But
the story of the murder basement?
so it used to be the old Hollywood Video, and a girl that was working there was getting ready to close up the video store, and her boyfriend broke in and actually killed her and drug her down to the basement. But the weird part is that makes no sense is I always heard kids in there. Like
What,
I've seen kids running up and down the hallways and stuff, and I was like, but there's no backstories of kids to this place. So it never made sense.
any idea what the land was used for before it was a video store?
I have no idea.
Thank you, Terry. It's actually tomorrow, but you know, we're celebrating tonight. What the hell?
Yes, happy birthday.
That is crazy. Wow. Yeah, when I brag about Mark all the time. I swear to God, he has an internet that nobody else can access. He has his own private internet. He will get on to a site and research a location, and he will find names, dates, histories, everything that I can't find anywhere. And it just completely blows me away how he does his investigations. Yeah, it's nuts. Or how he does his research for an investigation. So you guys have been doing this for a while. What tell us about some places that you've gone and investigated.
Let's see.
Recently, the last one that we went to, why don't you tell them about Mouth Cemetery?
That one was cool. We went to Mount Cemetery with Ben from Afterlife Road. Me and her went and did a day investigation, and then we met up with Ben later on and did a night investigation with Ben. Because I don't like to go to new places and not know the surroundings if we're going to be there at night.
Mm-hmm.
We had some crazy shit happen there, though. Like, for the most part, when we were there, we kind of just walked around and, you know, it's really overgrown. It's kind of creepy, but I didn't really feel anything too out of place there. But without giving out too much information, because we haven't posted anything about that yet, but we got a lot of activity off of Ben's K2 meter that was on point.
It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, it was so cool to see an actual K2 meter work the way it was for us at the cemetery.
Because he's got one of the digital K2 meters, and we've got one too, but we couldn't find it. And it was on command. We could ask it to walk away, and it'd walk away, and then we'd ask it to come back, and it just, like Ben would say a number, and it'd make it spike to that number. It was nuts.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So that's.
And that was actually.
I know Ben's. I'm sorry. I know Ben's got a little bit of history. Sorry, guys. I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you, and I'm eyeballing this plate of strawberries my daughter made for me for my birthday.
Oh, nice.
So, well, she's having a picnic with two of her little school friends tomorrow, and she made a bunch of little snacks for their picnic, and she made me oh God, what, 4, 8, 12. I got a dozen chocolate covered strawberries here. So
nice.
if you see me chewing in the background while you're talking, it's
I don't blame you.
it's very, very hard to resist all this melted chocolate. Yeah, I know Ben has a little history with Mount Cemetery. They've been there before. That sadly enough was one of the investigations that I couldn't make this year. But what was it besides the K2 meter at mouth that really got you going?
It was extremely consistent. It would spike up, then we'd ask him to leave. He'd walk away. We'd ask him to come back. It'd spike up again, and then it'd go back away, and then come back. And it was doing it for like 4 solid minutes, just spiking up, going away, spiking up, going away.
Nice. Now, what about activities beyond the K2?
Ben and her seen a shadow figure. I was behind the bush, so I didn't see the bush that it walked to.
I seen it first, and then Ben seen it a little bit later in the same spot. It was really strange because he's like, I seen something over there. I said, that's where I seen mine at, was over there. So
Very cool.
and we also went to the lighthouse out there, the White River Lighthouse, and that's supposed to be haunted too by the man.
It's actually buried in that cemetery.
Yeah, he's buried in that cemetery, but he's the keeper of the lighthouse back then in the whenever 1800s or whatever it was, and he was buried in that cemetery. But that's supposed to be haunted too.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
That's
Actually,
interesting. I didn't know about
We went
that.
to the top of that lighthouse. That was cool. Very top of it. That was awesome.
For you.
Well, yeah, it's obvious he's not too afraid of heights.
Exactly. For him. Yeah, I would like crawling up there on my hands and knees going, I'm scared. He's hanging from the rafters.
I just found out before the stream, guys and gals, that Kyle is a tower climber. He was like 170 something foot in the air. I think he said yesterday, and it's like, man, I would have to work alone because I'd be peeing on the poor guy on the ground below me.
Yeah.
I'd get about 45 foot in the air. I'd freeze. I'd have to come up there with the jaws of life to pry my fingers loose from the top of that damn thing.
That's me too.
See, I was always told, if you're gonna go do something dumb, make sure you get paid for it.
And see, my big thing is, I don't think I'm afraid of heights as much as I'm afraid of closing the gap between my maximum elevation and the Earth's surface at a more rapid pace than what I ascended it.
Right?
You know, I used to roof for a living back before I done custom brick block and stonework, and we've been a story and a half in the air on a walkboard, and somebody lean against the roof too far, and the walkboard, the two ladders start doing this. You know, I was just smart enough to jump up on the roof before it went crashing down, and so did they, 15 foot to the surface.
So
I want
far,
to go with you guys next time you go to Muskegon. Lisa, I would love to go to Muskegon. Mark has been researching 2 locations in Muskegon. One of them has got old native burial mounds in the back of the cemetery, and supposedly the whole cemetery is guarded by a shapeshifter.
What?
Oh, wow.
And then another cemetery up in Muskegon has got a Revolutionary War soldier who has been seen walking around the cemetery, rifle in hand. So, or musket in hand.
Yes,
So
Lisa, let's go.
Well, you know, we gotta, Lisa's got a fire that's somewhat uncontrollable. Her and Jan were just talking 2 weeks ago about going on investigations with Jan and Jay down by Cincinnati, and Lisa's like, let's go. And I'm like, we're poor. We can't go yet. Let's plan this shit out. Let's not just, I mean, don't start packing your suitcase yet. Let's plan this stuff out for a later on. Hey, Paul, good to see you, bud. Oh crap!
Hey,
We all
my
get paid for
vacation time is coming
investigating.
Are you serious?
So holy boobs, holy boobs. What? Huh? What, Paul? Holy boobs.
He's talking
See what I
about
mean
you.
about? I start to boobs. So what about some other places you guys investigated? I mean, you're right up there, you know, the same area Danny's in. I know how busy Danny can be if Danny tries to be.
Right.
So what about some other places up there you guys have done?
Last weekend we did Drake's Farm.
Yeah. Tell me about Drake's Farmstead.
So we went to Drake's Farmstead. That's that house. The actual road was actually named after the family of the house. It was right off of Drake Road. She gave us, Kathy, the girl that was running it, gave us a bunch of back history to it. They were early settlers in the 1800s. And of course, they always see the lady in white walking the hallways. She actually seen a shadow figure walk up the stairs when we were there. That was cool.
But I didn't get it on film because
It was literally behind us.
it was behind us. Well, he was standing there talking to me, and I seen out of the corner of my eye over here. So, of course, that's gonna happen. It seems like whenever you see something, it's never on camera.
How it always
But
happens.
besides that place being haunted, it is so beautiful there. Like the woodwork. It had 6 bedrooms upstairs. It was such a beautiful place. Like no joke,
Oh,
that
wow.
place. Unbelievably beautiful.
The flooring is actually 100% original. They're trying to keep it as original as possible, but still make it look nice.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how that goes with if a place is haunted, you try to do anything to it, it's going to make spirits come out.
Yep.
So I think that might have been a little,
A lot of activity there then.
yeah.
Do you know the history of the farmstead?
A little bit, but
Not a whole lot.
that our video of that hasn't come out yet either. But she tells a lot of about the house that I recorded that will be in the video. But honestly, I can't remember what she was saying, other than the homeowners, the Mr. and Mrs. Drake, died in the house upstairs in their bed. And that's probably,
wow.
I think their daughter died in the same bedroom too.
that's probably why the house is haunted by them. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Basement's creepy.
Right. But another
So-
thing, you know, about we were talking earlier about, you know, things that we have done in the past. Years ago, I had a chance to go to the Kalamazoo Insane Asylum before they tore it down.
That was before we got together.
Yeah, this was maybe 15 years ago. No, 12 years ago. It's been a while. But I actually got to go into the insane asylum before they tore it down. And that was a really creepy experience for me. First of all, you had to climb up to get inside, because the first two sets of windows, first and second floor, were bricked over, so you couldn't get into it. So you had to bring a ladder to get into it. And then there was a bunch of us that went, and I actually, make a long story short, they say that that I was actually trying to get possessed there. We're all inside there, and all of a sudden I start getting really sick to my stomach for no reason. And I actually ended up throwing up. And it was like green, neon green, for no reason. Like, I didn't need anything green, but it was neon green. And years later, people are like, oh, that's because something was trying to possess you. I don't know how true that is, but that's what people tell me. That place right there was definitely creepy. You know, they still hear screams from there, even though that place isn't even there.
They hear it straight out of the sky.
Now, have you guys noticed in the last, let's say, 9 months, 10 months, since things opened back up after the pandemic, have you guys noticed a lot of the locations that you go to investigate? And I'm going to pose this question not only to you, but I'm going to pose it to the people in the chat as well, because we have quite a few investigators in here. Spirits have become more aggressive.
Yeah.
Since you know, they went a year and a half, 2 years with no investigators coming into locations and doing things, you know, being cut off from the living for so long. Have you noticed that raise in aggression when you go to investigate locations?
Yeah, I have.
I hear Trina chuckling back there.
I'm laughing
At the chat.
I'm laughing at what somebody said.
Hi, Beth. Glad you found us again.
Investigator.
Crafty Crafter. Welcome, welcome. So, now, since things have opened back up, have you guys done any return trips to locations you've done before the pandemic and actually detected a difference in the way the spirits were beforehand to how they are afterwards?
I don't think we have.
I don't think so.
Our 1 year video was during the pandemic, but we didn't really get much.
Right.
Our 1 year video, we went back to where our very first video started. And we didn't get a whole lot there. But the time after that, we did. Well, we did
How
do
so?
that one cemetery with my mom not too long ago.
Oh, Mount Hoga?
Yeah. And we did that one during the pandemic. And then you went back with my mom, and that one was nuts. She asked, "Do you ask the spirits, or did you ask somebody
I don't
in
know.
particular about the blueprints you found?"
Oh. No, I asked, I was using necrophonics, I think. And I was asking about I found these blueprints in the cemetery. second set of blueprints I have found, actually. And it was blueprints of the cemetery from like 1940. They were just sitting outside. It's weird.
And she was drawn to them.
Yeah.
Like something was drawing her to these blueprints.
And which was weird is my grandpa is buried in that cemetery, and I was trying to find him, but I couldn't remember where he was buried because it's been since 1980 something since I've been there. And then all of a sudden I find these blueprints. I was like, whoa, maybe he's in the blueprints. No, the blueprints were too old. They were from 1940.
So you found blueprints just laying outside?
Yes. Yeah. Sure did.
Wow. Okay. That's weird.
It is.
I mean, there's no possible way they could have been laying out there very long, because the type of paper that they draw blueprints on is much thinner than a regular paper stock. So
Yeah,
any weathering, and I mean, they're pretty much powder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Thank God you found them that day because it started to rain.
Yeah.
oh wow. Have you guys ever taken anything from a location you've investigated?
I took those blueprints.
So
I took the blueprints and I brought them home, and I had every intentions of getting a hold of somebody to return them, but then I just forgot. But I still have them.
our latest investigation, we took something home because it was weird. When we were with Ben at Mouth Cemetery,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
we had some people show up because we found out during that day that we went to Mouth Cemetery, it was National Ghost Hunting Day. So we had people
There you
showing
go.
up to the cemetery to take pictures in like Halloween costumes and stuff. And we had like 5 or 6 witches show up to the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
And they were sitting there doing pictures and stuff like that. And then like 2 hours later, we're getting ready to take off, and she finds a battery like a battery to a camera laying on the ground. And
I looked at him and I says, "Why is your battery on the ground?"
super weird because it ended up being the exact same battery that my camera takes.
I was getting ready to ask you, is it at least a battery you can use on your own equipment?
Yes. It was the battery that he can use on his camera. That's what was weird.
Wow. And somebody got back home that night and they're like, son of a
You know it. Because it's a Canon battery and those things are like $80.
But they were so scared of the cemetery that we knew they weren't going to come back for it.
There's no way they were going to be able to find it anyway.
Yeah,
They probably didn't even realize they had lost it.
till
So,
now.
well,
Look at your
you know,
battery.
I kind of sort of feel like I understand how they feel about getting home and losing that, because I sent off the battery to my light that I use on investigations to get it charged, and never got it back. So, you know, if I don't have some place for the power outlet now, I can't even use my external light anymore. So I kind of know how they feel, because now they're gonna have to find a way to order a new battery too.
They're not cheap.
But
no,
you guys
normally-
came out ahead on that one.
yeah, normally we don't just go around taking things from cemeteries. You know,
Or
like
any place, we usually just
Like
leave
we-
everything there.
we've like at Mouth Cemetery, there was this whole monument, I don't even know what you call it, full of stuff. I mean, just little trinkets and this and that, and all, you know, all over this stump. And there was a lot of money there. There was jewelry. There was just a ton of stuff left in the cemetery. We didn't touch any of it. You know?
Should I tell him about the statue?
No, let's not. Let's not say anything about that because we haven't posted the video. Let's keep that secret.
Well, I don't have
Yeah,
that.
yeah, definitely don't give away any Easter eggs to any of your upcoming videos. By the way, guys, I come to find out that Kyle does their editing. So
Yep.
I've already invited them down here so I can give them the same crash course in editing that I gave Jan when her and Jay were here, you know, a couple months ago for Ghost2Rama. And we'll have Trina throwing up videos like real fast, not very far off in the future.
Yeah, I really need to learn because he works a lot of hours and that just leaves me, and I don't know how to do it. So
Yeah.
if we need to get some videos out, they're not going to get out unless he does them.
I'm like,
Well,
Fine,
we'll have to find a day when the only thing he has to climb into is the car and drive the
Yeah.
40 minutes from your house to here, and I'll hopefully before winter hits, and I'll fire up the grill. We'll get some burgers on there. We'll
Oh
spend a
yeah.
little bit of time in the studio. Hey, you learn something new and you don't got to cook dinner that night. That's a win-win situation.
definitely.
Definitely win-win.
So now what about other locations you guys have done? I've watched some of your videos. I mean, I know you guys have stayed kind of busy in the past.
Mm-hmm. We like to do abandoned stuff too. We've done some abandoned gas stations and some properties, and we've even done an abandoned fire station, I do believe it was something.
Oh, wow.
But yeah.
So far, I wouldn't mind going back to the Three Rivers Hospital before they demolished that.
I didn't really.
Yeah, I want to get into Three Rivers, but I heard they got it fenced off where nobody can get in.
Oh, do they?
They're trying to demolish it.
Ah. Gotcha. There was
There's
nothing
one
left
up
in there when
north.
we went in there anyway, so there was just like there was nothing in there. Unless you're
There's
going.
one up north that I would love for me and Lisa and you guys to do, but you can't get into it. It's up by Mount Pleasant, and it's an old Indian school.
Oh.
And they've actually much like the one out west, they found unmarked graves on the property and stuff like that, but they do have a chain link fence going around it, so you actually cannot get into the school.
Oh.
You can do the property, you can do the cemetery, but you can't do anything inside the building. And I would absolutely love to, because you know it's no big
Awesome.
No big secret to how a lot of the teachers treated Native American children during the 19th century and stuff like that. I mean, Ghost Adventures just had one of their brand new episodes where they done an Apache Mexican school in Arizona.
Oh.
And there were stories of the kids being tied up in a basement and beaten. Every time they spoke their own language instead of speaking English, or you know, would put on a native bracelet or a necklace or something, they wanted to turn them completely white. And it's really sad. But I mean, it's really sad because even this far east in Michigan, they treated them the exact same way. So,
Right.
but now how about places that you guys haven't had a chance to do yet that you want to do?
The Indiana State Asylum, I think that's what it's called.
I want to do the Kentucky one too.
That's the one that the CJ Basin went into and got really freaked out. That one, or was that the prison? Indiana State.
That might have been the prison.
Indiana State Prison? I don't know. There's a couple places in Indiana I really want to get to that look real interesting.
I want to get into the one in Kentucky. It's a sane asylum. They made the movie Tunnels in, and if you watch the movie, like if you watch the back credits to it, they say that they couldn't film more than 5 minutes without seeing a ghost on camera. So they had to do
Oh,
a
wow.
lot of editing in that movie just to not get real ghosts in the camera. Like they said, it was super haunted and just super crazy.
Weird.
I want to go to that one.
I'm sitting here looking at the chat, and I'm seeing Waverly Hills, Indiana State Penitentiary, Waverly Hills, Alcatraz.
Indiana State Penitentiary. Yeah, that's what it was.
The Ohio State one I want to go to. That would be cool. I know Ben just did that one not too long ago.
Yeah, Ben, when I was talking to him a couple of weeks ago, he said he was going to try to, pull some strings to get into the Michigan State Prison in Jackson, what they used to call Jacktown.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Chad, good to see you, bud. The only problem is part of Jacktown is being used now, I think, for offices. So you might be able to get into like the cell block and stuff like that. But yeah, touring a lot of the prison it's going to be off limits.
Right. Yeah.
I don't like to when I go into investigation, I don't like to go places they don't want me to go. Only because it kind of ruins your reputation a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know it or not. Me and a certain other paranormal investigator who shall remain nameless, he used to do stuff up in Detroit. And one of the big paranormal TV shows went up there and actually cut chains to go into locations they weren't supposed to. So, now they won't do any investigation at Fort Wayne in Detroit anymore, which is really sad because the place is active as hell. I mean, it was used during the War of 1812 right there on the river, crossing into Canada. So it saw a lot of action. Scratch that. The reformatory is in Mansfield. I'm the real Chad Smith. No, I know Chad Smith. That's the real Chad Smith right there. I know Chad. I watch Chad. He has some great guests on there. Now, what else besides the reformatories?
Well, the Indiana cemeteries we pretty much covered with my mom in Indianapolis. Want to venture down to Ohio and start looking up more things in Ohio.
I know there's some locations down in Louisville, Kentucky I would love to do. Of course, some of the locations down there near Cincinnati and everything, just too far off to just up and run to. But there's a lot of really great, and I'd love to do Waverly Hills. You just can't afford Waverly Hills. I mean, that's like, I think $400 or $500 to go into.
What?
Oh yeah, it's some ungodly event. Well, the places I was telling you about before the stream started in Indiana, they're wanting, I think it's $350 for 10 people, and then everybody above that's $35 additional but you're in there from like 8 o'clock at night until 10 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
Right,
That wouldn't be too bad.
right.
No, it
Well,
ain't. We're running to it all.
Mhm.
So where do you see you guys heading in the future? I mean, what are your aspirations for Ferris the Fam?
I definitely want to branch out and start doing things outside of Michigan. But, you know, the only time it's not money, it's the only time we have to do what we call our weekend adventures are on the weekends, and I get mandated to work on the weekends.
I'm gonna start to.
You know, and it seems to be a problem with cutting into our YouTube career. Just kidding. But you know,
I was going to say playtime, but okay.
yeah, yeah, it's cutting into our playtime. It's,
Jobs do that.
I know.
I've come to find that it is really, really hard. I mean, even though this is the only thing I do for a living, you know, this is my only income right here. And, you know, with Mark being my researcher, he works a full-time job in security, you know, it's really, really hard to find that time when you can actually get out and do an investigation. I completely understand that, because the problem we were running into when I had the Midwest Parahistoric Society together, you know, Mark was off on Sundays and Mondays, but everybody else was off on Thursday and Friday, or Friday and Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there was no jogging the schedules together to get everybody at one location. That's really hard when you work a full-time job.
It is. There's a lot of times where I'll be like, hey, what do you want to do tonight? Let's go to the cemetery, you know, and for whatever reason, we just end up not going, you know.
I'm just too exhausted.
Right.
And you know, it's funny you mention that, because I was going to ask you how many times you guys just get home from work and you just get plopped down, or you just get out of the shower, put on your comfy clothes, and you plop down in your chair, and either one or the other of you are like, hey, why don't you want to go do this cemetery, or you want to go check out this abandoned house, or you want to go look at, you know,
That would be
just
me.
a spur of the
I'm the one that
moment
always
thing.
does that. I'm the one that always does that. I'll look over and go, let's go do something. Do we have any batteries charged?
Yep.
Wow. Wow. I grew up in southern Missouri, have been drawn back my whole life. I've been in the wrong direction from what draws me. I haven't been in Ohio probably 15 or 20 years. Yeah, life cuts into the filming career. Amen to that, Jim.
A lot of
I
your
have a mom
cemeteries are
life
all.
job. Uh-oh, Lisa. A mom life, a job, and about to go back to school. That's going to interfere in your playtime right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yes, cemeteries are supposed to be off limits after dark, but we're naughty.
Now,
I don't play by the rules.
They really don't mind you being in the cemetery if you're not vandalizing them.
yeah,
That's
now
true.
I'm glad you guys brought that up, because one thing that we have found out, because up until we hooked up with Danny, we've only done cemeteries. And most cemeteries will have, if they have open hours, they will have them posted on a sign. A lot of cemeteries,
Yep.
at least what I know of here in the state of Michigan, do not have posted hours. So
I know
now
Mount
we
Cemetery
still
does.
do they?
Yeah.
Some of them just say till dusk. So
Yeah.
Well, most
Yeah.
of the,
See, Jan, you brought up a good point, Jan, about you have police that patrol. And what we always do, as a general rule, Mark will get a hold of everybody. He will get a hold of the town. He will get a hold of the what do they call them? The Essex of the cemetery. He gets a hold of the city police, county police, and state police. And mostly he just lets the county police and state police know, hey, we're going to be doing a paranormal investigation in this cemetery. The city and local law enforcement have given us their okay. Just letting you know that if one of your guys happen to see movement when they drive by or flashlights, it's been approved. Here's our contact person, yada, yada, yada. And a lot of them, amazingly enough, don't throw a gripe about it. They're like, oh, okay, just don't tear anything up. No, we always pick up garbage when we find it. Nobody ever, we've never left anything behind. And most of them, but that's as a general rule, we do it whether they have hours posted or not. Just so nobody thinks we're up to no good. And we've never had a complaint. So, matter of fact, we've actually been invited back to a couple places by the city before. And right now, we're dealing with Niles on the Fort St. Joseph archaeological site and a couple other locations in Niles that date back to the early 19th century. And we're dealing with the Historical Society on those locations. So, we'll see what comes of it. But yeah, I let the businessman take care of all the contact thing. I am not a businessman.
I know when we went to Anderson Cemetery, there was a guy there. He had the key to the gate and everything, and he was planting flowers, and he knew what we were doing there. We were waiting for it to get dark, and he told us, go ahead and have fun. Just, would you mind locking up when you leave? So, it's not like we got permission from, but I mean, we kind of felt better about it because of the cemetery being, I mean, we were already scared enough as it was, because that's like the only cemetery that really freaked me out was the Anderson Cemetery. So
yeah, that one.
Did you go out there to try to catch the couple that was murdered?
There was a couple that's you're supposed to see them or something
On their wedding anniversary.
their wedding night or something. Yeah,
I think it was
We
the
actually did catch
anniversary of their
something.
death.
we actually did catch something on video. It is on our video of Anderson Cemetery where he's like, what's that over there? And then all of a sudden you see something ducked behind the tree.
There's a lot of growls at that cemetery too.
Yeah. I felt really uncomfortable there. I actually was scared there. And I don't get scared.
The old
Not at all.
the old person that was in charge of Anderson Cemetery a few years ago didn't want anybody on the property because normally, and I mean, you can walk right around the fence. It don't go along the woods line and everything else.
Yeah.
It's just the front right there by the road. But the most eerie thing about Anderson Cemetery when we done it was just me and Mark and our old friend Christy out there filming from the front gate towards that couple's grave next to the tree. And we were hearing things out there, but then we had this vehicle drive by real slow and they went down around the curve. You guys have to understand Anderson Cemetery is on a dirt road out in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
So you got trees behind you, you got trees all around the cemetery and everything. But this truck goes all the way down and goes around the curve, and all of a sudden you see it go dark. And then
I know exactly what truck you're talking about. That happened to us the first time we were out there.
Yep, not 3 seconds later, here comes that truck again, real slow, like creeping the other direction.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, am I hearing banjos? It's like, so we packed up the gear and drove down the road to Rose Cemetery. Rose Cemetery is right across the street from a bunch of houses and stuff. That's where we found the Civil War sharpshooter who was buried with honors. But when Mark went to research him, we found out that he had went AWOL right before their very first battle. So why did this guy get buried with military honors? You know, did he stay gone for 3 years, then come back and lie to his family about being in all these battles? Or, you know, how did he manage to get buried with military honors if he was a deserter? So I drove a truck today, silent enough to be an electric vehicle.
Got chased by that truck though when we went. When we went there, we got chased by that truck.
Wow.
Oh yeah, because when we left,
it kept shining its brights at us and stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to get us to pull over.
We didn't.
Now you mentioned before this. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just floored it at that point when he was shining his brights at me and trying to get me to pull over. I just floored it and was like, nope, I'm getting out of here.
Now, before the live stream started, you guys mentioned Hatchet Man Road.
Yeah.
Tell us about Hatchet Man Road. What is the legend of Hatchet Man Road? What attracts paranormal investigators to Hatchet Man Road?
Go ahead. You got
that one. So I was actually raised in the town of Hatchet Man Road out in Gobles and had no idea about it until I got with her and started doing research of paranormal places. And come to find out, I grew up like right down the street from this place. And the backstory to it is that there's one house on this entire road. And the guy supposedly, it really makes no sense if you think about it, but the legend goes he made a bomb shelter for his family underneath the house, and the guy just went nuts and ended up killing his whole family with a hatchet. And anybody that drives down that road, he chases either in his car or chases you on foot with a hatchet in his hand.
Really?
And the first time we went, we were actually chased, I would say probably a good 3-4 miles down that road the first time we went. Or no, that was the second time we got chased. The first time we seen the guy.
The guy, yeah. Yeah. A guy walking down the road in the pitch black.
And then by the time that
I got him on video walking, like gliding past our car. Didn't even look like he was walking, he was gliding.
Yeah. And the moment that he got past the car, he just disappeared.
Wow.
You just like seen him turn and like glide into the woods. It was the weirdest thing. Super weird.
Not saying it was anything paranormal. It could have been just a guy walking down the road, but it seems kind of funny because there's one house on that road and it's like miles down, and it was just really strange. Really strange.
Very cool.
Carrying anything or nothing. He had a headlamp that just magically turned off. Super weird.
Right.
Now I
But
know
Ben was
I
telling
know
us,
Michigan.
Ben was telling
Go
us
ahead.
that the video that we made on Hatchet Man Road is what made him go out and do a video on that road.
Yeah. Before he knew who we were. You know.
Lisa asked if you guys ever went down to that house.
No,
On Hatchet Road? No.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see it.
I've been to the gate of it, but he's got like electric fences around it, and he's got a giant solid gate blocking it off. It's like you would see this guy as a lunatic.
Yeah, I would not go
Okay.
on his property.
So potential serial killer. Noted.
Yeah. And all the land around him is swamp. That's why the legend of making the bomb shelter didn't make any sense. It'd just fill up with water.
Yeah, it's probably just one of them stupid legends that somebody made up, because there's a Hatchet Man Road probably in every town. Just like there's the bridge. What's that called?
Yeah, Crybaby Bridge.
Crybaby Bridge. There's a Crybaby Bridge in every town, you know. Kind of the same thing, I think.
Yeah, there's actually the very first time I heard of Crybaby Bridge was the one here in Michigan. So
Oh, wow.
when I started to research it, I found out about one out in Amish land in Pennsylvania. Supposedly, according to stories, years and years and years ago, some Amish girl was attacked by non-Amish, and she got pregnant. And her father, when she had the baby, took the baby and threw it off the bridge. And now when you go to that bridge, you'll either hear a baby cry, or you will hear the clopping of a horse-drawn buggy coming at you, or moving away from the bridge, or something like that. So, but that was the crybaby. I didn't find really any information. Now, Muskegon, Michigan also has the bridge where the man supposedly killed the children, where that he was left in. Long story short, kids came up missing, and the townspeople knew about this sweet old man. He was too elderly to go out and hunt for these kids. So several families took the kids out there and kind of done a, you watch the old man's going to watch you. We're going to go look for the missing kids. Come to find out, he was the one who was kidnapping the kids and killing them.
Hell's Bridge.
Huh?
Oh, is that Hell's Bridge?
That sounds like Hell's Bridge.
Hell's Bridge. That's it.
Yeah. We're supposed to go there with Michigander Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob and I have got to get together and do some more stuff. We went to Notre Dame last year to Regis Philbin's grave and several other graves, and I am just aching to get back out with Rob and do some more stuff.
Yeah,
he's just way too much fun.
The first time we went out with him, we went with Bat Rican, Michigander Man, and Sean Cody.
Oh.
And we did, what was that?
So World War II camp in Allegan.
Okay, we did that. And then we did Munchkin Land Cemetery.
I've been to Munchkin Land.
Mm-hmm.
And then we took him
It's not very far from here, though, so.
Oh, okay. And then we took them to the cement factory.
Yep.
Oh,
on the other side of Battle Creek.
yeah, I can't think of what it's called right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, we had a good time that day. We went all over with them. We did like 3 different videos with them.
And then we went up to, he invited us to, what was the last one we did with him? Traverse City.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
we did the asylum.
Don't drink the water.
That was probably the first asylum that I've been to where the tour guide made no sense. Like, the place was gorgeous, but the tour guide himself made no sense. He was talking it up to like they were these super sweet people, and like everybody that worked there was just super sweet to the people that were in there, and it's like, it was a sane asylum. Nobody was nice to anybody.
Yeah.
But they're trying to talk it up too. They were the nicest one around.
Yeah, they didn't abuse their people. They didn't do this and that. Their places aren't haunted, and all kinds of things like that. So
It didn't make any
Now,
sense.
have you guys ever gone to a location that is so hyped up? Paranormal investigators have been there. They've always captured stuff. They've or been ran out because of the activity. You get there and nothing happens.
Eloise.
Yep.
We went to Eloise a couple of months back, and we were gung ho. I mean, we were so excited to go to Eloise. And, you know, because this is like the first time that we had ever spent that much money to go to a place. And it was so overly packed with people that we couldn't catch anything because there were so many people there.
They had 16 people per group.
It was too bad. I actually got really mad, and we probably could have caught things if there wasn't so many people there. But you couldn't even like try to film without people talking in the background and yelling and screaming, and I was so mad. I actually dropped my camera, sat down, and said, "I'm done." I know that kind of really doesn't have anything to do with like being
I mean, it was really talked up. Like,
yeah, everybody was talking about how wonderful it is. It's so great. And
how crazy the place is.
we went there shortly after Jack Osborne was there
1 week after.
with his show. What was it called?
Portals to Hell.
Portals to Hell. So
Portals
we
to
went there
Hell,
right
yeah.
after. Yeah, right after he did the episode of Eloise. So.
And we actually had this tour guide that he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jan, you just made a really good point. When you go into locations, go in with just a few people, a very, very intimate small group, and
Yes.
you know you can divide up easier and go to different locations and not walk on each other, not contaminate each other's footage. But the more people you have, like if only just a couple of us went and done the church there in Paw Paw where Ghost2Ghost was at, I'm sure we would have had a lot more activity than what we did having, 50 people, 70 people walking around that place.
That's also what I liked about Drake's Farmstead. We only had 6 people show up to that one.
Yes, that was great.
So we just broke off into 3s and went our separate ways.
That's very cool. Now, I'm going to flip the coin. Have you ever gone to a location that you had heard was not going to be anything special. They've got a few little voice, recordings, maybe a K2 kick once in a while, but get out there and the place is so active, it blows your mind.
The cemetery by the hospital.
Is that Mount Everest?
Mm-mm. Riverfront.
Riverside.
Yeah. Riverside Cemetery. I've known a couple of people to go into that cemetery and not get anything, and me and her have had nothing but crazy experiences in that cemetery. You go down the back road, plot 18, every time for some reason, we've always had something crazy happen right there.
Riverside Cemetery, where at?
Kalamazoo. It's
Okay.
by Borgia Cemetery, that really big one.
Oh, okay. I know which one you're talking about.
I've actually had something, me and her were walking down, not even filming, where there was deer sitting out in the cemetery, and we heard, it almost sounded like a janitor jumped out of a tree.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really strange because you hear like keys rattling, like a bunch of keys. And then something hit the ground like they had jumped out of a tree. And we just took off running.
Didn't even get the cameras out,
Well,
nothing, just ended up bolting.
Well, damn, that answered my next question then. My next question was going to be, have you guys ever been to an investigation where you got so freaking scared that one or the other was racing to see if they could get out of the cemetery before the other one did?
Yeah.
So that pretty much
Anderson.
answers.
Anderson. The first time we went to Anderson, we walked in, we got as far as
Just past the fence.
just past the fence, and all of a sudden it was just this feeling over all of us. It was me, him, and his mom. It was like a feeling of, you better get the fuck out of here. And we said,
Wow.
we're leaving, and we booked out of there. We didn't even get 5 minutes and we were done.
That's the only place I've ever walked in and was like, I can't do this.
We all immediately said nope, and we left. That was Anderson.
We're gonna have to go and meet up at Anderson sometime, because like I said, the lady that used to be in charge of the place wouldn't even let us inside the gate. She knew why we were there. She said people will line that gate every year on the anniversary of that couple's death,
Oh, I bet
trying
they do.
to catch them. But when we were there on the anniversary of their death, we were the only ones that showed.
Oh, wow.
Nobody
Okay.
else was there. And I mean, I bet we must have heard 100 coyotes moving around the cemetery. I mean, it literally sounded like they were circling us. And just all of a sudden, everything went dead quiet. And I actually still have that blooper reel on my channel from way back. And when Mark made the remark about things are really quiet, why can't we hear the coyotes anymore? And I said, because they're sneaking up behind you from across the road. and I swear to God, he almost drilled his left foot in the ground, spinning around to see what was behind us. So,
Oh, wow.
because I mean, all you're hearing is all around the cemetery, in the woods and out in the fields and stuff. And then all of a sudden, dead silence. No crickets, no owls, no coyotes, no nothing. So Anderson is a spooky place. And I can definitely.
Very. the feeling when you're there, that feeling right there is, we've been there, what, 3 times?
3 times.
And we've only
got
got video once, right?
2.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, the feeling that you get when you get in there is unlike anything else. It is a feeling of instant scared. It's so weird, so weird. And I don't really get too scared at any place that we go to. I'm not saying I'm big and tough or anything like that. I'm just saying, like,
It's just,
I don't feel the scared like everybody feels.
that one,
That one did. That one scared me.
yeah.
I mean, come on, I go into a cemetery alone by myself at night. I think, you know, not too many people can do that.
Now, one cemetery that I would suggest to you guys, definitely checking out, there's a Riverside Cemetery in Dewaljac. That's the one that we're going to on this coming Monday, the 10th. And that place has never been a letdown. But I've noticed that if you have more than 3 or 4 people, there's not as much activity, even though it's a huge place. But I would suggest if you guys are ever down this way, because Dewaljac's only like what, 9 miles north of me. But that place will creep you out, and the Lee Mausoleum down by the road, especially, they were, you know, Borges Lee, but the bishops had married into that family, and Mr. Bishop and his 19-year-old mistress were on the Titanic together and both survived it. And the woman who was his mistress is buried in the same mausoleum with his 19-year-old wife that he divorced. Now, I understand this guy was like 35, 36 years old. And he was married to one 19-year-old until she got to be 24, 25 years old. Then he started having an affair with this other 19-year-old. And before the divorce was finalized, they were on the Titanic together and survived. And somehow, some way, he managed to wind up getting his ex-wife and his current wife in the same mausoleum, which, well, needless to say, there's a little animosity about that. We actually asked during the investigation if she minded being buried next to his wife's mistress, and that's the, yeah, I don't believe that was a very friendly response. So, but that was also the mausoleum we got the white glowing eyes through the gate. So,
Is that down by the casino?
No, no, it's actually right on the edge of Dewaljac. I would say probably 4 or 5 miles from the casino.
Okay. I think I've passed it before. I do a lot of work out there.
Yeah, you go down Pokagon Highway out of Cass, and when you get down to the flashing light on Daly Road, you hang a right there and start heading north, and that pretty much takes you right to that cemetery.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Can't wait for Monday night's investigation. I can't either, Lisa. I'm looking forward to that. And then the one we were supposed to do this past Monday night, we moved to the Monday after Riverside. So, and that's actually the very first cemetery we ever done. That's the very first investigation we ever done. Back before we had equipment, or all we had was phone apps. And we managed to pick up some really cool stuff. So I can't imagine what it's like actually having real equipment now. But that was a very unusual cemetery, because that's the one that Mark and I found U.S. colored troops buried right next to U.S. white troops. And that did not happen during the 19th century. So, especially in a town like Sumnerville, where you only have like 20 houses and a bar, and that's the entire makeup of the town of Sumnerville, Michigan. So, let me see here. Coyotes scare me at night. Just carry a gun. I'm not sure. All right, guys, we're just about at the half hour left mark. Does anybody have any questions for Kyle or Trina? Sorry, I've been I know you guys have asked some questions in the chat. I've been really kind of enthralled in what they were talking about. And I mean, I knew I would be because I've never really had a chance to talk to him except at Ghost2Rama for a little bit. So
That's why we were super excited to get on here tonight.
well, meeting you guys finally, I mean, I had caught a couple of your videos, and, when I found out you guys were coming to Ghost2Rama, it's like, yes, I finally get to meet somebody else that I've had a chance to sit and watch. So
Right.
when are you guys going to collaborate with me and Drew? As soon as we can get something worked out, Lisa.
Yes.
With
I'm
their
up for
work
it.
schedules,
It's got to be on the weekends.
Yep.
we'll figure something out.
I can usually, if I ahead of time, if I can ask for the time off, I can get it.
And ahead of time, we mean like 2 weeks. Give us about 2 weeks and we can make it happen.
Please hit it. Jan said to please hit her up whenever you guys decide to go down her direction. So there you go. There's more collaborations in the works.
Where's that? Ohio?
She lives down just a little bit northeast of Ohio, Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you guys will excuse me for a second, I'm going to go use the bathroom. I'm going to let you guys watch the chat a little bit and answer some questions while I'm gone.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, we absolutely had a great time at Ghost2Rama.
Loved it.
All the people that we met, all of the YouTubers, stickers that I had gotten while I was there is on my car. So I have the JJ's Adventures and on my car. Tommy Amongst the Tombstones.
Everyone.
Who else? I got everybody's stickers and I put them on my car. So, and everybody looks at them. I always get some type of comments on my car because my car's decked out in Ferris Fam.
Yeah, we can only do it on weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can come up with a place. We can make it happen.
Yeah. My car is definitely something else.
We can't take her cars on investigations.
No, no. A lot of times we don't take my car because I advertise on my car and yeah, it's not a good idea.
Well, we know what they're up to.
What's this one? Oh. I don't have any stickers. The ones that I made were made off of my Cricut. So I technically didn't have stickers. So I really do want to have some made. I did have one made a while ago that I put on my car, but yeah, I really am gonna make some get some stickers made and I was mainly concentrating on shirts and stuff like that I was actually giving away.
Michigander Man's actually.
Yeah, Michigander Man was one of the winners of our free T-shirts that we gave away. And he wears them because he had one in one of his shorts that he made. He was wearing our T-shirt. It was kind of funny. Did you see it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was funny.
Cricket decals. Early found Mary's talking to eldest daughters. Coon hunting. Well, yeah, but there's a big difference, Tony, between taking your kids coon hunting and taking them to a cemetery to use them as bait. I don't know. I mean, you know, my kids are big enough to beat the crap out of me if I ever suggest that. I mean, my kids are like Kyle's age, so you know, I'm presuming Kyle is like 32.
Pretty close.
Yep.
Old enough to
obviously I'm
whoop my
not.
old ass.
And obviously I'm not.
Obviously, you're not.
No?
You'll be 25 forever, my dear.
Yep. I'm 39 and only.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had T-shirts, Jan, until I seen Rob with one in the short that popped up the other day. I was looking at, and it's like, hey, where'd that butthole get that Ferris the Fam T-shirt at?
You
I'm
guys
gonna
seriously send me your shirt size and your address, and I will send you some because I have some made, and it won't be the same as the one Rob had because that was our first year. Now they're more like the one that you posted with the ghost right here, and I think it says "Enjoy Living Life" on the front because that's like what we say in every one of our videos. Enjoy living life. And on the back it says Ferris the Fam Ghost Team or something. I don't even
Hey,
know.
Rob.
Hey, Bubba, who you calling a butthole, you butthole?
Awesome.
Oh, man, I love that dude. He is so much fun to be around. Oh. And you know, it's funny because my wife, she'll watch my investigation videos, and that's all she'll watch unless it's a cooking something on YouTube. And she hears me talking about you guys. She's heard me talking about Rob. She's heard me talking about Santee from Arizona Ghost Riders. She's heard me talk about Bat Rican and Sean and all these different people. And then she gets to meet you guys at those at things like Ghostorama, and she's like, now I can put a face to the name.
Yeah.
I don't do paranormal things, so hunting is my only similar reference. Makes sense. And that's good. That's fine. Everybody's got their own little thing.
Yeah.
At least it's Rob on YouTube. I thought Cuzzo was sweet. Oh, man. God, what else? Did you guys get many questions when I was gone?
Got a couple.
I think I mainly just talked because sometimes I'm outgoing, but I am really shy.
Yeah,
I try to be more outgoing, but
you told me before it started that you'd never done this before. You might be a little shy, and I thought you've done great. I mean, you've been here, you're talking along, telling the stories, and
yeah,
You're doing a
I
great job.
broke your live stream interview cherry.
you did.
Now you'll be all gung ho to do your next one.
Yeah.
See, Jan didn't think you were shy.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to be outgoing, but I don't know.
So
He's really shy. Actually, he is really shy. Like,
Which
It's-
is super weird. You get a camera in front of me, I will talk for days. But
yeah,
in
but-
person, I'm a very shy person.
yeah.
and see, you guys didn't seem like it to me when I met you at Ghost2Rama.
Yeah.
Y'all seem
I
just
think
as
we were in our
talkative and
element there.
open.
Yeah,
We were with, people that enjoyed the same things that we do. So we actually had things that we could talk about, because like with our family members or people in our day-to-day lives, they're not interested in what we do. They think it's stupid or whatever. So when we were there at Ghost2Rama and there was people around us that actually enjoyed, talking about the same things that we enjoy, that kind of got us going. So,
Wow.
right?
Ghost2Rama
Now-
really got me in my bubble because I met my actual first fan that was
That was, yeah.
that was cool.
Tell him.
No,
Yeah, really.
Sorry about it. See?
Yeah. Yeah, come on. Tell us. Tell us.
It's super. It was kind of weird because you had like that celebrity moment of somebody actually noticing you, and I've never had that before, so it was really weird. And
It was actually funny when he told me about it because I wasn't with him when it happened. He's like, somebody recognized me.
he's like, "Holy crap, Ferris the Fam's here! That's awesome! I watch you guys all the time." I was like, "Yeah, I'm just Kyle."
Right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's really funny because my wife makes fun of me because I especially back when I had the old channel and we were almost at 5,000 subscribers and
Oh, wow.
everything before all that stuff happened back the end of November last year. But I used to always dress in my cowboy hat, my vest, my jeans, my boots. And she'd say, "Why are you dressing up to go to Walmart?" Do you not remember when you signed our daughter up for school last year and you drove 3 blocks down the road to the parking lot to just drive the loop, sign all the papers, and then come back home and you didn't have an ink pen? She said, "Yeah." I said, "You remember calling me and saying, 'Hey, honey, I don't have an ink pen in my purse. Can you run an ink pen down to me real quick?'" She said, "Yeah." I said, "You remember it taking me an hour to get 3 blocks?" She said, "Yeah." I was like really pissed that night. I said, "You remember why it took me an hour? Because I kept getting stopped by people who recognized me from the channel and wanted to
Oh,
take
wow.
selfies with me or, whatever, because I walked out, put my cowboy hat on, slipped my vest on, took off walking. It's like you have that celebrity thing because, regardless of whether you're watching somebody on TV or in a movie or you're watching them online or something, to actually see them, it's like, oh, I got to get a selfie with them. Hey, Danny, there's the man right there that made Ghost2Rama possible, guys. Weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of hard work. But yeah, I do the same thing when we just go to Walmart or something, because I'll get stopped at Walmart and somebody want to take pictures with me or take a real quick selfie with me or something. And yeah, I mean, when I was hanging with Drew, I thought he was Clint Eastwood. You lucky butthole.
Oh.
Oh my God. So does anybody else have any more questions for these guys? Because if not, I'm going to let them get on with their little personal evening here. It's Friday night. I'm sure they got better things to do.
Yeah, you'd be
I
surprised.
just hope and pray they name one of them after me.
Right. Uh-oh.
Damn it, Tony.
What's their favorite gun? What's your favorite
Yeah, what's
gun?
your favorite gun and caliber? Damn it. I don't have the money to replace this equipment, Tony. Give me a heads up when you ask questions like that. Now I'm going to choke to death live on camera. Oh, this is why I love Tony. He's accused me before of not reading his messages, and he don't realize how many times I have to get up and, or I'll go back through and I'll watch my live streams again. It's like, oh, Tony. Oh, Tony. I love my Tony. It was so awesome meeting, seeing you guys. When we were hanging with Drew, we thought we were special. Yeah, we're all going to get special together, guys. I've told all of my followers my plans for the future, what I would really like to do, and it's going to be expensive, but I think that it's a way to really change people's outlook on the paranormal and what they see on the streaming channels like Discovery and Hulu and stuff like that. You know, I want to be able to get the money to actually get a Hulu channel or a Hulu channel and be the only non-Hollywood paranormal investigative team to post their investigations on one of those channels. But instead of having big stars and stuff like that that don't know shit about the paranormal, singers, TikTok personalities, I want to bring in other Michigan paranormal investigative teams.
That'd be cool.
I said not to read them aloud. I just hope everyone enjoyed
More Ghost-orama coming in June.
Amen. We've got more Ghost-oramas already set up, and I can't wait.
Me either.
Yes, especially for the ones over in Benton Harbor. That's going to be a good one. We have don't we have the dates, Danny, for 3 of them confirmed already? Paw, the Poorhouse, and Benton Harbor.
June 3rd, Ghost-orama at Eden Springs. Ooh.
There you go. There's one of them right there, and that's going to be the nice one. That is the big location that Danny, me, Randy, Tommy, all done together. The old amusement park. That's going to be an amazing place. We picked up all kinds of spirit activity there. And not to mention the people.
Beer and Poorhouse.
Yep, and I don't have anything to write on nearby, so I'll have to get with Danny later and get all these dates written down. Ghost-orama, Lisa, where can I sign up for that?
19th. June 3rd.
Yeah, I remember actually sitting out around the fire when we were done investigating at Eden Springs, and Tommy, Randy, and Randy's girlfriend were all sitting with their back to the old baseball diamond, and we had seen something move out there. And about that time, Randy spun around real quick and took off with his handheld and walked all the way out there. And you can hear him say, "There's something in that tree. There's something in that tree." And he didn't get close enough to the tree to find out what was in the tree, but we were seeing shadow figures. We were hearing what they refer to as the elemental at what used to be the big cat house where they kept the lions and the tigers and stuff. We had a lot of activity in the basement of that place, not to mention just the grounds. They had back several years ago, they actually found native remains off by the springs out in the woods. So there's a lot to that place. It is guaranteed to probably be just mind-blowing, as it was to me the first time I was there. I can't wait to actually get a big group out there. We'll both have to have them written down. Thanks, Lisa. Can always count on you. You know, it's nice to have the younger partners doing this with better memories. Very cool. Very cool. So does anybody else have any more questions for these guys? Very cool. Vendor 75, Ghost Hunt 25. Hey, wait, you guys never answered the question about your favorite gun and caliber. I know Tony's going to pop back up and say, hey, wait, they haven't answered my question yet.
I know.
My favorite so far would probably have to be about the only gun that I own, and that's the my revolver.
I just know it's a gun. I don't know what it is.
I asked
It just-
twice.
So is it bigger or smaller than the Saturday night special that Trina carries in her purse?
A little bit bigger.
Okay.
So,
Well, you know, when the wife carries a bigger gun than you do, it's kind of emasculating a little bit. So I'll be your paranormal secretary.
I think we need one of those.
A paranormal. I do, because we have our chat, and which, by the way, I'll be throwing I'll be adding you guys to it for the chat that we have on Messenger. That way, if we decide to do an investigation and you guys want to come along, and you're privy to all the information and everything. It's a gun, it shoots right. But
That's right.
That's all you need to know.
It's a gun.
Yep.
You point it, you pull the trigger.
Shiny.
It goes pew pew.
Yeah,
I
pew
hope it
pew.
doesn't make that
right.
noise. What is it, Star Wars gun?
No, it's the thing comes out, it says bang on it.
My other gun is a proton pack. It helps if you use up all the bullets. Yes, it does. That kind of, you know.
Taser.
I like my taser.
No questions? No questions? Going once. Going twice. Oh, hell, we only got 10 minutes left. This bullshit for the next 10 minutes.
Scariest place.
Oh, scariest place. There you go. We already touched on that a little bit, but Danny wasn't here yet, so.
Scariest place.
Well, being that I don't really get too scared,
Anderson.
probably Anderson. Anderson Cemetery is where I felt the most uncomfortable. How about you?
Yeah. Super creepy.
Mhm.
Because we're supposed to go and do Anderson Cemetery with Ben from Afterlife Road. And it was super creepy because we went and did Mount Cemetery, and there's a Anderson Road right down the street from Mount Cemetery, so it just like linked up with it perfectly.
I know that it was weird. It's weird.
Super
So,
weird.
and you know, touching on that scariest place thing, has there ever been an investigation? And I'll let you both answer this one separately. Has there ever been an investigation that Trina has literally said, "Okay, fuck this, that's it, let's go"? And Kyle, same thing to you. The activity has been so bad for one of you, but maybe not the other one. You know, like if you look at my videos, there's one of a place called the Schultz Cemetery where it said we had a great investigation, and then all of a sudden the voice box said malevolent. And my wife's like, "What did it say? Did it say what I think it said?" I said, "Yeah, malevolent." She goes, "That's it. Pack it up. Let's go." And I mean, she literally had a hold of the back of my shirt to turn me around. Have you guys ever, one of you or the other, or both of you, ever had a place like that?
I have the day we did Henderson, or not Henderson, Hatchet Man Road. We did the little tiny cemetery that got me believing in the paranormal, where I caught the figure waving to me by the tree. I took her to that cemetery, and she didn't feel anything, but I just constantly felt like I was being watched. And the whole time, there was still snow on the ground. And she's like, "Well, we're not getting anything here, so let's just take off and go to Hatchet Man Road." So we hop in the car, and I was watching footsteps just form all the way up to the car as I was out by the road. And I was like, there's somebody standing outside the car right now, just staring at us, and we can't see them. And she was sitting in the passenger seat, so she couldn't see the footsteps. But I was like, there's footsteps outside the car. I'm leaving. Like this, that one got to me. That one was nuts.
Right.
So you've never grabbed him by his belt loops, Trina, and said, "Okay, it's time to go. Fuck this."
No.
Anderson Cemetery.
Well, Anderson, yeah, Anderson. I was the one that I absolutely ran back to the car to.
He was basically pulling me back to
Yeah.
the car.
Well, no, the very first time we were there, I was hiding behind you.
Yeah.
The very first time we were there, I didn't have a camera. I don't think I had a camera at the time. I was actually standing behind him, and he kept going, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that?" And I was like, "I am not leaving your side."
He kept pulling me.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what it is about that place, but the two times we were there, I was completely freaked out. It's the only cemetery that I've ever been freaked out in.
Wow. And see, we didn't have that kind of activity at Anderson. The most activity we had was the coyotes.
Right.
I mean, we seen some movement out past the couple's graves. I mean, if you're standing right there at the gate, their grave is like straight back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's where we had the cameras set up at, and we seen some shadow movement, but there was a lot of mist and stuff in the air, so you couldn't see if it was actually breath that was moving out away from the camera or what it was. So, but I mean, you seen things, but you just really honestly couldn't tell
What it was.
if it was paranormal or not. A collaboration, Third Eye and yeah, see? That would be cool. That would be cool, Danny, to collaborate with you, bud. Just me, you, and Lisa. Go out and hit, or me, you, Lisa, and Ferris go out and hit some
Oh, I love
places.
that. That'd be awesome.
I mean, you guys sit and think about it. The time that we have in the paranormal is not even half of the time that Danny has in the paranormal.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, that's why I call Danny our mentor, because, you know, he's that guy that's, you know, and he's going to argue with me on this, but in 22 years, seen everything, heard everything, felt everything, and isn't as shocked on things as we are, still being relatively new. Well, comparably new in the field.
You give us a date and we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, because you guys are right there in the same town Danny's in, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nobody.
Oh, I am, Tony. I am. You know, I'll break out all the wool. You guys will see me filming outside in the snow in my nice Union captain's coat and, you know, my Civil War captain's coat and stuff. I'll be all ready for it. Have that big white cavalry hat on with the snow all sitting up on the brim. Oh yeah, I'm ready for it.
I'm not. I gotta work in it.
That's true.
Yeah, and you're a lot thinner than I am too, so the wind, you know, you get a good enough wind, it's gonna go right in your belly button and whistle when it comes out your butthole. Man, believe you me, I've only been in Michigan for 7 years, but I've learned the wind here can be just absolutely feel like it's cutting through you like glass.
Yes.
And being 200 feet up while it's doing it's even worse.
Thank God for Carhartts. Let me see here. November's open so far. That is an optic. I did not. Oh, come on. Don't be a party pooper, Tony. You know you would laugh your butt off if you were standing at the bottom of one of those cell towers and Kyle was up there and all you heard was, it's like, yep, the wind's catching him just right. I just wear 8 shirts, 2 pairs of pants, 2 pairs of socks, coat, scarf, gloves.
Yeah.
And still only look like you weigh 130 pounds.
Yep.
Lisa's tiny. The only fear I have of Lisa being out in investigation with me is she's so small, something carrying her off.
I'm afraid of that happening to me too.
Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah, because I know that if something happens to her out there, I'm alone. I'm not protected anymore. I'm not safe. I just said in my live stream this morning that, you know, I rely on Lisa and Heather to protect me. I mean, having Mark and his gun is nice, but having those 2 crazy wild women, I'm safe. Nothing's going to get to me. Unless you fall in the river wearing things.
Yeah, that part would suck.
Yeah. But all right, guys, it's 9 o'clock. I've had these 2 on here for over 2 hours. If nobody has any more questions, I am going to go on and let them skedaddle. And we're going to close this puppy out. Again, going once. Going twice. And sold. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. This was pretty cool. I have not done a Ghost to Ghost in probably 9, 10, 12 months. Oh, there's Paul's boobs again. Paul had to come back with boobs. That's what a female ghost says. Boobs.
That's what-
This is why I love my peoples. You just never know what's going to come out of their mouths. I love it. I love it. I wouldn't
Right.
change any of them. I love it. So when are you guys going to start doing live streams?
I've been thinking about starting them up.
You really
He's
should.
been thinking about it.
Oh, come on. You're the talker.
I don't know.
We're gonna have to start.
I don't find me interesting though, so I don't
You don't find
you're
you
interesting.
interesting?
know.
How?
I don't know.
Our life is one giant journey that we just one day decided to go film
Yeah. Sure.
and show it to the world.
Right?
There you go. There you
How do you
go.
not
That's
think
exactly
our
how you
lives
got to
have
look
been
at it
invested?
too. That's exactly how you got to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always
I've
telling
actually-
him that his next wife is gonna hate our YouTube channel.
How come you never want to go out and do that stuff with me?
Yep,
Because you're not as fun as she was.
exactly. I'm a ray of fucking sunshine. Sorry.
Oh no, that was good. And out of nowhere, it was great. But all right, guys, that's it. Tomorrow night, I will be up at our very last Rock the Block here in Cassopolis, Michigan. There is going to be band. There is going to be beer. There is going to be probably 2,000 people up there jamming out for the last time this year. Of course, there will be a video out Sunday. Ain't going to tell you nothing about it because it's a secret. Monday night, the investigation with Mark, Lisa, and Heather at the Riverside Cemetery in Dowagiac, Michigan, and then back to our normal schedule again for the rest of the week. So you guys all have a. I'll be here Monday. I'll be here Monday morning. Don't you worry about that. I'll be here Monday morning. But that's it, guys. So until next week, until Monday morning, y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. We do. We'll catch y'all later.
Remember, enjoy living life.
Enjoy living life.
Enjoy living life. That's right.